As most retroactive jealousy sufferers know, when we're struggling with unwanted intrusive thoughts about our partner's past, it can be quite easy sometimes to project that and project our sadness, our pain, our anger, our frustration onto our partner. In today's video, I'm going to respond to a viewer of this channel who wants to know how to emerge from this vicious retroactive jealousy cycle. My name is Zachary Stockill, and since 2013, I've been helping men and women from all over the world overcome retroactive jealousy and save their relationships. If you'd like more information about my work, or you'd like to work with me one-on-one, please visit my website at retroactivejealousy.com. In just a moment, I will read the email that I'm going to respond to today, but just so you know, I'm trying to get to 20,000 YouTube subscribers. I feel obnoxious asking you to hit the subscribe button, but I'm going to do it anyway. So if you've been watching my videos for a while, or you just stumbled upon this video, you want to support my work, you want to support my channel, please be sure you click subscribe to my channel and help me get to 20,000. Okay, today's comment. T writes, I worry that I'm not giving my partner the love and respect they deserve because of retroactive jealousy. How can I offer these things to them even when there are things about their past that I do not particularly love? Okay, T. The first and most important thing I can tell you is you can't control the way you feel. You are going to have emotional responses to your partner's past, and there's nothing you can do about that. Well, there are things you can do about that over the long term, but in the moment when an emotion comes up for you, there's nothing you can do about that. Of course, you can control how you respond to it, and you can certainly control what to do with that emotional energy, which is probably the most important thing I can tell you. You can't control the way you feel, but you can, of course, control your behavior. You can control your actions. I don't know enough about you and your situation, but I have to put this out there. Some people use retroactive jealousy as an excuse to treat their partner poorly. In other words, they make mean comments, or they ask a bunch of questions, or they do all kinds of things to try to make their partner feel bad for their past. Now, obviously, I don't think that's a good idea. Practically speaking, it will not help you beat retroactive jealousy over the long term. And of course, it's cruel, and sometimes very punitive to your partner. So you don't want to emerge from that. And just because you're struggling with retroactive jealousy does not in any way give you permission to treat your partner poorly, to be rude to them, to make mean comments, or to ask them a bunch of questions, or to call them names, or whatever. Retroactive jealousy is not an excuse to be a jerk, basically. So that's very important. I need to put that out there. You can't control the way you feel, at least not right now. You can certainly control your actions. You can control your behavior. That said, another point on this whole topic of trying to love your partner even though you don't love 100% of their past. So obviously, loving someone does not mean condoning every single choice that person has ever made. Accepting someone and accepting their past does not necessarily mean loving their past in its entirety. I think what's important in a situation like this is to get clear on the big picture. What is truly important about your partner? What are the parts of your partner that you love, and what are the other parts that maybe you don't necessarily love, but you need to accept them because the overall package of your partner is too good to let go. There's a book by a men's coach out there that I often find myself recommending to my male coaching clients. The author's name is Brian Reeves, and the title is Choose Her Every Day or Leave Her. In other words, choose this woman, choose all of her, or walk away. Walking away is always an option. And I say this because I think it's very important to put that idea out there. You are not a victim of your partner's past, and you are not a victim of your partner's present either. You have the power to walk away if that's what you choose. And by suggesting that, I'm not saying that anyone watching this should necessarily walk away. What I am suggesting is don't think of yourself as a victim. Don't think that you're just stuck with this person because you have options. Even if you have children, even if you're married, you have options. And I think it's very important to remember the fact that you have options. And if you are going to choose this woman, it is a choice. You're not a victim of circumstance. You can walk away. So really, you have two options in a situation like this. You can either walk away or choose this woman and make an effort to accept the parts of her, and potentially the parts of her past that you don't necessarily have to love, but you have to accept. Again, you don't have to love it, but you do have to accept it to a certain extent. And some people ask me, what does accepting my partner's past mean? Obviously, it's going to mean different things to different people, but when I think of acceptance, the next word that comes to mind is perspective. In other words, again, this thing that in my partner's past, for example, I don't necessarily love it, But I'm going to accept the fact that I can't change it. I'm going to accept the fact that it happened because the overall package of my partner, everything about her that I find so enthralling, the things that I'm so attracted to, the things that I really love and appreciate about her, the overall package of my partner is way more important. And focusing on that overall package is way more important than focusing on this minute little detail from her past from many years ago. Acceptance is really about perspective and choosing the perspective that's going to get you where you want to go. And choosing that perspective actively, not waiting for a new perspective to fall out of the sky, but choosing it actively on an ongoing basis. I'm going to give you an extreme example. So in the past, on a few occasions, I've had coaching prospect consultation calls. In other words, someone's interested in coaching, they want to sign up and learn more about coaching, so we hop on a free call and we go through it. By the way, if you're interested in potentially applying to work with me one-on-one, click the link above my head. That'll take you to a page where you can learn more about one-on-one coaching with yours truly. But anyway, I have been on a few free discovery calls with potential coaching clients, and they'll say something like, my partner's this terrible person and she doesn't share my values and I can't accept these things she did and it disgusts me and yada, 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 yada. How do I save my marriage? And my response is, you can't, unless you are willing to change your perspective. Because saving your marriage and remaining wedded to that perspective are incompatible. You're not going to save your marriage with someone who you don't respect and you think they're disgusting and all these other things. It's not going to work, right? So if you're open to changing your perspective, you can save your marriage. But if you're not going to be able to save your marriage. I just want to illustrate the importance of choosing your perspective on all of these things. Not waiting for new perspectives to fall out of the sky, but making the choice actively on an ongoing basis, because that's really how you change your perspective on something over the long term. And if you are treating your partner poorly because of their past or because of your feelings or whatever, again, you're not a victim of that, of feeling those feelings either. You can control your behavior, you can control your actions. But aside from that, remember that everyone has their breaking point. Everyone. I don't care how much your partner loves you. I don't care what they've told you. I don't care all the things that they've done to try and reassure you. Everyone has their breaking point. In other words, you will not be able to get away with treating this person poorly or being disrespectful to them forever. Your partner will reach their breaking point where they say, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm going to have the self-respect necessary to walk away because this person clearly doesn't respect me. They're torturing me for things that I have no control over right now, things that I did in the past, whatever. I can't take this anymore. I'm gone. I'm leaving. And quite often when people hit that breaking point, there is no coming back. You know, they say a relationship is like a plate. You drop it once, it smashes on the floor. Maybe you can glue it back together, but it's never going to be entirely the same again. I think there's a lot of truth to that. So remember, if you continually push your partner's boundaries, if you're continually making little comments or disrespecting them, you will have to pay that price eventually. They may hit their breaking point and they may hit it sooner than you realize. If you found this useful, if you found this interesting, if you found this thought-provoking, please do me a solid, click the silly like button below. Also be sure you're subscribed to my channel and you can also leave a comment telling me what you think. Until next time, my name is Zachary Stockill and I'll talk to you again very soon.